For over 40 years, I shoved the pain of my past under the rug of my life. I was determined never to pick it up and look under it. It would be too much, too painful, and I thought it would break me until I found myself tripping over that rug. And I could no longer ignore those secrets and painful memories that I had long hidden away. My name is Denisha. I'm the founder of Reclaim Story. In 2017, during a girls' weekend, God took me back to an intensely painful place in my story, and He gently began to invite me to peek under that rug. Together, we looked at the depth of a painful childhood that I had hidden for years. You see, what I had been concealing, He was kind enough to reveal. Those places I had tucked away for so long, He wanted to heal. He was doing the things that only He could. And that weekend, the word that kept coming up for me over and over again was the word reclaimed. I couldn't avoid it. I saw it in writing. I heard it in conversations. It was everywhere. Like if you buy a new blue car and all you keep seeing everywhere is that blue car. That's what it was like for me. God was pursuing me with the word reclaimed. The word reclaimed means to rescue from an undesirable state and restore to the previous natural state. And that is the narrative between Genesis and Revelation and all of humanity. But God was rescuing and restoring my story. He was changing the way I viewed the pain of my past, the way it affected my present, and He began showing me how healing could shape my future. It was no accident that the exact same place that we had the girls' weekend was the same place that a 55-year-old family friend brought me to when I was only 16. That place was a deep but hidden source of pain for me. I didn't talk about it. I really tried hard not to ever think about it until my girlfriends and I arrived to that same place 25 years later. After that weekend, I went home and back to my life, where I spent 2 years healing and wrestling with God, me still trying to shove things under that rug. But His goodness, His grace, and His love invited me to look deeper, to continue to explore those parts of my story. And healing wasn't easy, but it was worth it. God was reclaiming this part of my story, and that place of pain has now become a milestone of change for me. In addition to my family life, I was a pastor for a decade during the time that God was rescuing and restoring my story. And as He began to reclaim my story, my eyes were open to something I hadn't noticed before. I began to notice woman after woman coming into our church with devastatingly painful stories from their past. They were trying to reconcile what those stories meant for their lives today. And I wasn't alone. Like me, these women were hurting, yet hiding in plain sight. They were looking for hope. They were ready to peek under their rug, yet they were not comfortable sharing the depths of their story with friends or in circles of people that they had been with for a long time because they feared judgment or rejection. When they had shared something vulnerable, oftentimes a well-intentioned friend would quote a Bible verse and then change the subject and move on, as if it was a quick fix to the complicated problem that they were facing. So instead of finding true healing through community, they felt the need to put on a mask, pretending they were just fine, which left them feeling alone and stuck. I remember one woman told me that she often wears a smile on her face, but on the inside, she is silently screaming, and no one seemed to hear. And that broke my heart. A dream began to form within me, a deep calling to help other women heal from the pain of their past. And God brought that dream to life as Reclaim Story, where we have created an emotionally safe place for women to take off the mask and heal from the pain of their past. A community of reclaimers where women can be honest and vulnerable about their story, their loss, their decisions, their abuse, their unmet needs, all without fear of judgment, shame, or rejection. Reclaim Story helps women untangle their emotions get unstuck, make sense of their life today, and journey toward healing. Together, we experience connection, compassion, acceptance, and belonging as we together pursue a vibrant relationship with Jesus. John 10:10 tells us that the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus came that we would have life and life abundantly. And we believe that it is possible to have a painful past and live an abundant life. And we also believe that when one woman journeys toward healing, generations are changed forever. What if one woman had healthy boundaries without building walls? Her identity rooted in the truth of God's word and not the truth that her past has spoken over her. What if one woman could learn healthy ways to address anger and unforgiveness? And what happens when she begins to grasp the unconditional and everlasting love of God for herself? What if one woman, what if many women learn to silence their inner critic? And instead of feeling stuck and just surviving, they can begin to live the abundant life that Jesus came to give us. Are you that woman?